HDMI in from camera. Yeah. Yeah, that's why it's not working. You get one of them, please.
You need to connect it somewhere else, so
Nah, that's pretty much it just for this one.
Is it this?
Yeah.
Got that earlier. Should I switch these two around? That way you can fit something here.
I don't know if we'll need to yet.
Alright. It's getting a bit warm.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Let's go. We've got a picture now.
Brody Newman read it best. Throws it on the left boot, but it's only as far as Var.
There we go. What were you missing? This was in the wrong spot. You put that in there. Fucking voila! There we go. Alright, I'm gonna grab some water. Yeah.
point the camera at the ground just so I can see if the watermark's there, please? Just like at colour, nothing white. Just put your hand in front of it, in the front of the lens. A bit higher. Yep, you're all good. That's all I need.
How's the horizon?
Yeah, that's good.
And focus is all good.
Yeah.
Getting the post over there, so.
Do you remember how to put the ads up? From the
Ads from there. No idea.
Yeah, I'll just try to figure it out first.
Really got the sequence for the ads on the other side.
We'll just wait and see. Bit of difficulty with the dark clouds and also being out in the far right-hand pocket here at Norbuilt Oval. Coming in to line it off. In fact, it is Smith, as Smith has his second shot in as many minutes, and it's gone through without a mistake through the middle.
Looking good, and that puts Districts on the board there. That is a goal and a behind a piece for Southern Districts and Nightcliff as we just get into the 12-minute mark here of the first quarter. This is AFL&T's coverage of the 2022-23 TIO NTFL season here, live broadcasting from Norbuilt Oval, where we've had every weather condition possible in the last half an hour.
Maybe we're in Melbourne.
No, not that bad.
No hail.
No hail. Oh, don't say that.
Give it a chance. It's only early days. Umpire exactly right. Jonty Beard will restart play. He's umpiring with Mark Noonan and Callum Loney today.
You were saying earlier, Ash, Callum Loney from ACT. Canberra.
Yeah, he is. So this cool weather will actually be suiting him, although it's a lot warmer than what he's experienced in Canberra. It's cleaned up there by Philo. Philo on the left boot. Puts it out in front. Lake bounces over his head. Wilson's grabbed without it and will get a free kick. No, let play on there. Fijo on the boot. Smith can't quite get it. Goal kicker. It's picked up there by Mentha. Mentha for Districts to Bousted. Back to Mentha. The Crocs moving it very well in these slippery conditions. Picked up by Rusker. Now it's on the boot again. And it's been marked safely there by the Nightcliff defender, who will go back and restart play.
Yellow and white Guernsey's making it tough to be a commentator today.
And it's just gone over the top. And Nightcliff will just try and keep possession and keep it out of there.
Oh, great.
The problem, but it's a great grab there taken by the Southern Districts player, Jake McQueen. Handy last week. McQueen centres that ball and he picks out his teammate in Woodcock. Those two combining well last week as well. Woodcock sends it up forward though. It's come off hands, cleaned up by Nyhouse. Nyhouse puts it out wide to his teammate, who plays on quickly after taking a mark. Now he goes forward.
Oh.
Over the top, went early, let go. It's bouncing. Butler in the race to the ball. So's McManus. They equalise each other out. Ladd can't get it. Drops possession. Let go. Dragged off it. Play on is the call. Free kick's been found and it's going to go to the Nightcliff player. And that Nightcliff player is Shanton Ladd. He balks one way, then goes the other. And picks out Bailey Henderson, who had a shot earlier
from this almost exact position.
From this almost exact position, front of the commentary position. That's right, Tara.
Might be a shot at redemption for him. He is looking for a side player there in Philo.
So he goes inboard, and Philo will go back, you would think, and have his second shot at goal. You'd probably back him in, Tara, wouldn't you?
I hate to be a broken record, but he's in the same position he was, just on the other side of the field. So you would back him in, but again, as I mentioned earlier, rain and wind in his favour. He will be kicking with it.
You're kicking with it. That wind is blowing quite strongly to the right hand of the screen as Brody Philo comes in and sets it up and lets it move across, and the goal umpire stays stationary. All clear given, and Philo gets his second and Nightcliff second. A
very, very steady goal call there from the goal umpire. That notches Nightcliff further up on the board there. Southern Districts 1-1-7 to a Nightcliff 2-1-13. It is a bit of an arm wrestle here down here at Norbuilt as we head back to the centre. Matty Dennis did well, has had a couple of good hit outs here, but
they're not making the most of it.
They're not, unfortunately. When you've got someone like Matty Dennis who's putting that ball out and giving them every opportunity, they've got to make it work there for them. But you can obviously thank Ryan Nyhouse from a defender position there, who worked hard up against the Southern District's attack to get that out of there. So he did well to turn that over.
Not a bad midfield either, just quietly from Nightcliff's point of view.
Correct.
And you got Brody Philo in there, you got Huppets in there. It's one out that time though by the big ruckman in Robinson. Robinson's kick cut off though by Brody Lake, who just soccers it off the ground, sends it out. McQueen leading the race to the ball. Balks one way, goes the other. Now he's got time to have a bounce, and he does in the wet conditions. That's confidence. And then he puts it in looking for Woodcock, who takes a great mark falling backwards. He's going to be too far out, so he plays on quickly, beats one, then has to give a handball over. Here's another one. It comes to his teammate, and that teammate was Fraser Driscoll, who drives it through.
That is impressive football in these conditions, Ash. That is ripper football there. Obviously, the confidence to have a bounce on the wing there in front of the Southern District's bench, and then obviously beautiful play there. Started from a massive mark from Woodcock.
Yeah, it did, and Woodcock did very well, but Jake McQueen there backed himself, didn't he?
He certainly did.
I reckon if it had gone the other way, he might have got the runner out to him from Shannon Ruskett, but in the end the runner would be going out there going, good work, son, keep it up.
The runner was already on their way out, Ash. It was just the message changed on the halfway through, I'd say.
No, that was a good way to respond, because I got to say to you, their midfielders worked very hard, no luck in front of goal, and Nightcliff through Philo. Isn't Brody Lake actually doing very well across half-back? Just keeping him honest.
He is, and for those that perhaps missed, Brody had a really ripper opening quarter here and has worked hard in defence here against Nightcliff. So
Schwartz taking down Philo there. Ball punched away from Roy George. Here they come again. That's Nyhouse with a hurried left foot kick. It's going to bounce though. It's going to bounce up, but then he's wrapped up, and he was wrapped up by Matty Shannon. They're caught forcing the pressure. Schwartz with a handball over the top comes to the skipper, Dean Staunton, who's taken out by Ladd, and will have a free kick against him. Ladd with a great tackle. That's Shanton Ladd. He then kicks it up the line looking for a contest. Phoenix Joe Paul couldn't get a hand on it. District's trying to run it out there through Waitman. Now it's going to come in short. Bowden against Mummery, and Mummery's up to it with a great chest mark. And Michael Mummery, who has really turned himself around at the start of this year.
Yeah, he had a really ripper performance last week against Waratah, really influential, and you can see he's going to go for it here, and it looks like he's opting for a bit of a snap here. Interesting position.
Yeah, he is. He's backed himself on his left foot, and it's just going to sit right up. Phoenix Joe Paul's got the sit, off hands at the back there, and it'll just be carried over that by Ethan Maney.
Ethan obviously saw the pressure he'd be under there and made a decision, and it was a wise one.
Well, that's not a... It's to Waitman. Waitman bouncing back after a bad injury a couple of weeks ago. Not a great kick. Bousted waited for it. That wasn't very helpful. James Gow.
Hit there. That's a head-on hit there.
The two teammates run into each other as Wilson sends it inside the 50 for Nightcliff. It's off hands, falling back around about. Still trying to get a hold of it was Driscoll. And the ball will go out of bounds.
Yeah, so... Bousted's still down. He had a head collision with a fellow player there. He's being helped off by a few of the trainers. Bousted rising star in round 2. He's just being helped off by a few fellow.
Butler goes into the ruck. Harry Butler into the ruck against Matty Dennis. Bit of a size difference. One out though by Butler. Shanton Ladd can come in. Right foot snap at goal. And curls it back and hits the post. I reckon he's hit the post. He has. Well,
that was a ripper there.
That's the best point of the day.
Oh.
No, and a free kick. Play's been stopped. What are they doing? They're just waiting for Bousted to go off the field before they restart, or else they would have been kicking right on top of him.
Oh, that's fair there. Good call from Noonan.
Yeah.
Keeping the game safe.
Decent match management. Driscoll. He's got Bowden here. I'd just go straight to Bowden and be quick about it, or else you're going to be too late now. No, too late now, so he's had to go over the top. Oh, and it's not a great kick. It's going to bounce loose. Picking it up is Phoenix Joe Paul, who doesn't look, just kicks. It's going to come off hands. That ball is really slippery now with this rain.
It is, and I'm actually surprised by the level of football considering the conditions out here today.
Yeah.
There has been, up until probably right now, a really solid play of football, solid hands, good kicks, good hand passes. But you can't, these conditions are really sticky ones for these guys.
Matty Dennis is trying to set himself up in the front position here. Butler got over the top of him in that last contest. This time it comes off Dennis's head. Rusker can't quite get it clean. In there with a big hip and shoulder was the Nightcliff player. Looks like Phoenix Joe Paul. No, free kick's gone. And it'll go the way of the Crocodiles onto Bowden. Bowden balks. Butler's on the mark. Now he goes in short and picks out Rusker. Brandon Rusker.
Good pressure here from Nightcliff.
Yeah, ran back into trouble, but he still managed to find a teammate. That was good. Kai Jones. Jones goes out wide to his ruckman teammate in Dennis, whose kick's not great under pressure. And it's gone out of bounds on the full, and that was Aidan Robinson putting that pressure on Dennis. And he's going to be the recipient. Now Butler's actually going to get this back. So Harry Butler gets a chance to send the Tigers into attack again. Drizzly conditions here at Norbuilt. Oh, the flyer at the back was Ladd. Picked up, though, by Rusker. Sharked well. Now he can just kick it out to space and let Jake McQueen run onto it. McQueen's under pressure, and he's coming under the pressure from Petros Politis. Politis forces the contest. Now the Tigers will be able to pick it back up and go back into attack, and they do. Loose on the ground, Bailey Henderson. Driscoll over the top to a teammate, and that teammate is Maney. Maney back inside to Driscoll. Under a lot of pressure there, the District's defence, and the siren sounds to end the first quarter.
All right, and there it is, first quarter here at Norbuilt. Action-packed first quarter of footy. We've had stoppages, goals, head clashes. It's been an absolute blockbuster, as we expected this afternoon. Second versus fourth, Southern Districts versus Nightcliff. We'll be right back after this break with more round 6 action.
Stadium. To the left of your radio they go.
Wow, what a goal to start the game.
Beautiful. Goes for home and has nailed an absolute rip sorter. From the pocket, and he's kicked an absolute
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to...
Just keep going.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Norbuilt over here for the 2022-23 TIO NTFL season. Round 6 action here between Southern Districts and Nightcliff. So Nightcliff sitting second on the ladder and the Crocs in second. Ash, ripping first quarter, a bit scrappy.
Yeah, a little bit scrappy, but you'd expect that with these types of conditions. And at the moment, it's Brody Philo versus Southern Districts. He's the goal scorer. He scored both Nightcliff's goals
100%.
from set shots, from good marks. And for Districts, you got Fraser Driscoll with one and Luke Smith with one. Luke Smith's been busy. So too has Jake McQueen. And so too has Boyd Woodcock as we get back into the middle to start this second term. Umpire Noonan throws it up. Robinson and Dennis go against these but nullify each other. It's bouncing loose in the middle. Bounce on the goal. Philo doesn't even worry about trying to grab it. Just soccers it straight out, and the leading Butler will go back. He's leading Harry Butler takes a mark and will go back and have a shot. He's got Brody Philo there. So Philo looking for his third. Goes in short to a leading teammate. It's going to bounce away and bounce out of bounds and will be thrown in. Missed opportunity perhaps there, Tara.
Yeah, it seemed almost like he maybe rushed it. I think he had more time than he thought.
Yeah, I would have thought he would have had a better shot.
Yeah.
He was actually definitely looking to pass, though.
Considering the pump-up you gave him at the opening of the beginning of the quarter.
Maybe that's why. Commentators curse. Butler wins out against Dennis. Good drucking duel this, and it's cleaned up off the boot. Touch, though. And I'm just trying to pick up who that was. It wasn't Philo, but it was Politis. Oh, Lachlan Happets it was. Ball comes back in now through Bowden. Bowden looking for Dennis, one hand up in the air. Shark, though, by the Nightcliff midfield. Handball over the top. Still trying to get it through. Roy George just bounces off one, then turns. He's got a leading teammate. It bounces in front of him, and that was Jake McQueen. He gets wrapped up solidly as he regathered. No prior opportunity, and the umpire will ball it up. No, in fact, he's been pinged for holding the ball. Well, took a couple of steps and got done.
That's a good start to the second quarter here for Nightcliff.
Nathan Brown, the recipient there. Experienced 200-game player. Brown gives it off to his teammate, just sent straight forward. Punched away. District's defenders. Rusker, he's been busy in the first quarter, but this time his pass gets chopped off. Stanley Cox. Handball over. Districts with an opportunity through Galbraith to try and ease the pressure, and they do, and he picks out Luke Smith sliding. Still drizzling. Smith goes back inboard. Spoiled there. Staunton couldn't quite get a hold of it cleanly. Now they come out of it. Schwartz's handball's a bit intercepted. McQueen, hurried kick over. Fijo has a bounce, backs himself. He picks out a teammate to Manzini. Mazzini has got it over to Staunton. Gee, he's covered some ground. As Staunton looking for Dunstan. So Sam Dunstan can go back and have a set shot at goal.
That's it, is rather still at the moment, so he doesn't have the breeze like Philo did a few moments ago in the first quarter. But
no, it's suddenly gone still, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's really dropped. I mean, these are not obviously ideal playing conditions. It's wet and hot.
And it'll start to get a little bit steamy.
Correct.
As Dunstan definitely having a deliberate shot at goal here. He's probably going to kick around the 50-metre mark. He's on a bit of an angle, but if he sits it up, he should be right. And he's actually going to kick around the 45. Not a bad-looking kick, but he's sprayed it a little bit to the right of that right-hand goalpost. It's through for a point.
No, they did well to move it upfield. There was a lot of pressure there from Nightcliff. However, the Southern Districts guys worked hard to get that moved upfield.
Yeah, they've really got to be converting those, Tara, you know, as Ryan Nyhouse restarts play. And he picks out a teammate in Huppets. Huppets is an underground kick to Philo. Not a great kick. There's a good competition there with Dennis. Shannon bounces off one. So Matty Shannon from 50 turns. He's got Nyhouse, who just avoids that goalpost.
Nyhouse working very hard in defence.
And they're bombing down. Matty Shannon did very well a few weeks ago out here at Norbuilt from similar positions as that, as it's restarted there by Nathan Brown. Brown goes across to Tom North. First time we've called him today. North Sends it up the line and it's punched away by Fijo in a competition
Good pressure
against Bailey Edwards.
Good pressure there from Fijo, and obviously working hard to keep it within their 50. Obviously, they don't want to lose any advantage that they currently got at the moment.
No, they're just waiting. And again, we just have that situation where the umpires are actually not allowed to leave the field of play. So
yes,
Waterboy having to actually get the ball as we'll have it restarted. Cooper Rainey, the boundary umpire there, has been umpiring in the AFLW. About to throw it back in. Dennis versus Robinson. It goes over the back. Trying to get it was Fijo. Smith with a hurried kick for Districts. Left foot's just an up and under. And then Schwartz with a chest. Spoiled each other. Play on is the call. And I think you'll find that Schwartz and Staunton both got a piece of it. And the umpire just said, give it to me, I'm going to ball it up. Umpire Beard. Dennis wins out easily. It comes to Schwartz with a right foot snap at goal across his chest and through for a point.
Second behind in a couple of minutes here for Districts. They're doing well to keep it in their inside 50, however, just not converting.
No. And Districts just being called back to the mark as Ryan Nyhouse has got Nathan Brown if he wants him, but he ignores him. Just goes in a little bit short. They bring it back into the mid-zone. Wilson's there. Now he's got a further out player, and that's Luke Wines. It's going to bounce up for Wines. So on the one bounce, now it goes over to Wilson in that middle corridor. Wilson with a little chip. It's got space. It's punched on from Robinson onto Wines, and then it'll go back to Aiden Robinson. They're playing around with it a little bit here as he comes off to his teammate North. North gives it off to Wilson. Wilson again will send it inside the 50. They've got front position though, the Crocs defenders, and a free kick's been found. And Southern Districts will stop with the pressure and bring it back out. Mazzini can't pick it up first time. Hurried kick. Just slipping over with Mentha. Wilson in there. Busy the last minute or so. Here they come again, the Crocs. Dennis is a target. Roy George can get it and he soccers it forward. It's open space. Dunstan in a foot race. Nyhouse just soccers it forward to a teammate. That teammate's Brown. Nathan Brown just over the top looking for Shanton Ladd. Punched away by Fijo. Smith's in there for Districts. They've kept possession here. Dancing back around though was Mentha. Mentha had time. Gives a handball away to George. Roy George got one hand on it. Got taken high. And he's going to get a free kick for it. That was Brown, just came in. Well, experience there. Roy George played at Peel Thunder.
Yep. No, correct. And he did well there. He did 2-1 disadvantage in the forward.
Well, not a great kick in the end.
No.
It was a good... Luke Smith gave him a target. In fact, it wasn't Luke Smith. It was, in fact, Boyd Woodcock, and it was Lachlan Huppets that punched it away.
Correct. Yep. We'll just have Cooper Rainey here on the boundary throwing it in. Just waiting for the nominations.
So, as we see, Aiden Robinson will go off up against Matt Dennis. Nice and high. It's Luke Wines who runs it out. Uses his full quota and then puts it straight on the boots. 2 against 1. Punched away though. McManus picks it up, sends it back inside looking for Dennis. Dennis has got a hand on it as he marked it inside.
God, that's using that height to an advantage, isn't it?
It is, and he's just managed to get control of it before the boundary line. Aiden Robinson just pointing at the line, but Cooper Rainey was in a good spot, and so was the other boundary, so they were right there. So Matty Dennis has got a tough angle here, Tara.
It's a sharp angle for him, but he hasn't looked around.
No.
He's certain
He's going to back himself, and he's just put it straight up. It's going to fall a little. As it's gone through, the question is this. Umpire was in a great position. I reckon it's all clear. Matty Dennis scores the first for him and the third for the Crocodiles.
That was a good lead up there for Dennis. Obviously, I had a hit out on that throw in from Cooper Rainey. Just wasn't to his advantage with the Nightcliff player taking it. And then obviously getting it pushed back into the forward 50 there for him. And it was a sharp angle, but he's managed to get it across the line there and obviously keep Southern Districts a part of the rat race here. Southern Districts 22 to a Nightcliff 16 as we head back to the centre circle.
Yeah, that was actually good work from Southern District. I wonder what Shannon Rusker's message was at the quarter-time break because it's gone really still. It's the sun is out, so it's gone a little bit steamy.
Yep.
District's just handling that a little bit better, but gee, they're putting pressure on those Nightcliff defenders.
They certainly are. Nightcliff are doing well. You haven't seen a lot of Sean Wilson as of yet. I think the first time we saw him was a little bit in that play there.
Yep.
But as a reminder, the heat policy has been enacted for this match, so 2 less minutes in each quarters and 2 more minutes at the part of their breaks.
Robinson won it out there for Nightcliff. There's going to be quick hands off the top. They're going to try and get out of trouble here, the Tigers, as they move it forward. That time it came out through Daniel Jackson. Daniel Jackson's kick got overrun. Now they'll come in through Joe Phoenix Joe Poole. His kick, though, unfortunately is cut off by the District's defence. And they will come back and steady it up through Galbraith. Back into the middle corridor. Woodcock couldn't quite keep possession. Now he gets a chance to run on through McManus. Here they Bowden, just controlling it. Woodcock was held there, let go, play on. McManus again puts it out in front. It's going to bounce here. The Crocodiles have got time to look up and go, and they do. Matty Shannon on the boot, on the run, and through for a point.
He did have a couple of other players saying, look, I'm free, I'm available, feel free to kick it across. But if, again, Matty Shannon, if I was him, I would have gone for it too. Yeah. He had a good shot on goal and unfortunately just didn't get the chocolates in the end there.
No, Tigers want to restart this. Brown has just sort of snuck away from his opponent there. Comes to North. So Tom North just looking forward. He goes back to Nyhouse. They're just setting up a good defence here. They're keeping them well and truly in the District's forwards. Nyhouse has now got a kick to a contest in front of the handstand. It's punched away though, loose on the ground. Staunton picks it up. Couldn't quite get there. Dragged off it. Was Bowden. Now they've got time. Mazzini back to a teammate. They centre it. McManus is there, but Ladd with a great set of hands. So Shanton Ladd gives it off to a runner. That runner's GCAS. GCAS gives it out in front of Sean Wilson. Wilson can one-hander it. Oh. Not a great kick. It's smothered off the boot. Comes to the hands of Rusker from Districts. Rusker now gives it off to Shannon. So Matt Shannon held up. Back in board to Bo Schwartz. Schwartz over to McManus. McManus to a leading Dunstan. Bumped off it there was Brown. Nyhouse trying to clean up. So too in there is Luke Smith. Nyhouse is there, but the boundary line beats him. The ball is going to be thrown in directly in front of the commentary position.
Districts did very well there again, and just a change of pace. They managed to be really assertive with their direction and getting it into the forward 50, and it's paid off again for them. So managing to just kind of be there at every turn for Nightcliff at the moment.
You just sense they're starting to get on top in the midfield as Dennis smashes it out. Oh, great hit across the chest there was Schwartz. Big hard hit. It ended up with Butler. But then using his body well is Rusker from Districts. He gives it off to a running teammate and they go into attack again, although Moog is the one that chops it off and he can't quite get control. Loose in there, still trying to get a hold of it and get it on was Maney. Schwartz just spins out of one, runs around another, runs around a third, chops it towards the goal square. Dunstan can't get clean possession, tries to soccer it through. George on the line.
That was ACL
and Roy George, brilliant. Well, you'll be able to clip that piece of commentary, Tara, for the week's highlights.
He's done well there. George just thought, nah, I'll help you get it across the line there. So, no, that was ripper.
Well, I wonder how they're going to record that in the score sheets because I reckon Sam Dunstan did all the work. Roy George was just there to give a little toe poke.
That's exactly right. That is a supportive forward.
Well, they've opened up a bit of a gap here now. We've got 13 points the difference. Here we are.
They have. So Southern Districts 4-5-29 to a Nightcliff 2-4-16. Just passing the 12-minute mark here of the second quarter here at Norbuilt Oval.
Butler's gone into the ruck now. Harry Butler has gone in. And Mazzini's gone in for Districts. So two undersized ruckmen normally. Loose on the ground. Mazzini can't quite get it. Hurried kickoff there was from Phoenix Joe Poole. Here they go again. Wilson from outside 50 lines it up and bombs and just goes off to the right. Umpire Joanne Wood there.
I mean, that's a massive kick in these conditions too.
It is. With that it'll be reasonably heavy ball.
Yep.
Districts though will bring it out through McQueen. McQueen finds Lake. Brody Lake looks in board. He's got Schwartz on the lead and he goes to him. No, he doesn't. Goes back to McQueen. He had 2 options there, and a 50's been found. I dare say the Nightcliff player didn't stand when he was asked to. Played on before play on got called.
Heading up forward, looks like Brody Lake.
Lake goes inboard. Look at this. He's got Brandon Rusker all on his own. It's a great kick from Lake. Rusker has got a leading teammate, and that's McQueen. McQueen's come all the way across.
He's got options.
He's got Sam Dunstan there screaming wildly at him. He's taken a little bit long, but Dunstan's the tallest there. Can set himself up, and he takes and grab. Huge contested mark by Sam Dunstan.
Beautiful, and the umpire has paid it.
We're in a great position to see that. He just put his hands around it and just wrapped it up.
Yeah, he has a couple of centimetres over his direct opponents in that one, and he's managed to obviously score himself a mark.
Well, Dunstan can now go back, and he's yet to kick a goal. He's had a couple of shots, but they've gone through for points. He's directly in front. You'd have to think he's a better than even money chance of actually getting this.
I'm going to leave it at that, Ash, because I'm not going to add a
you don't want to really... Umpire's just clearing everyone out. Stanley Cox is on the mark. Sam Dunstan will come in for the Crocs. So can they extend this lead to 19 points? Dunstan pokes it a little bit. Directly in front, doesn't miss. Margin's now 19.
Didn't rocket it, didn't need to, so he did really well there, and obviously just extends that lead for Districts that little bit further, flexes their muscle. Southern Districts 5-5 to a 35 to Nightcliff's 2-5-17. So obviously from a Nightcliff perspective, did well out of the first of the ball up there, got it down to a Sean Wilson who unfortunately shanked it, but was a good turnaround there. Unfortunate. Did have the free onto Lake, but it was a good idea, obviously, to switch over to Rusker.
Yeah, it was, and Rusker just sort of snuck down from half-back, and if that's one thing the Crocs have been reasonably good at all season is the work that Rusker and Bowden do off that half-back flank.
Yeah, a few weeks ago in the unfortunate abandoned match that Michael Bowden, 19 touches
to half-time.
A quarter and a half.
Yep.
Massive.
One out there by Dennis. Now it's on the boot. Good work, McManus. Punched away by Staunton. Gave away a bit of height to Schwartz. Schwartz hurried handball to Fijo. No one's really wanting to pick it up. Staunton says, I'll have it. Mazzini goes in there, South Australian import. Comes across to Staunton with a hurried kick. It's going to bounce. Loose out. Oh, running straight through like a steam train was Staunton. Staunton over to his teammate Shannon. And Matt Shannon, well, just struggling a little bit in front of goals. This one's gone out of bounds. Wonder if you're just having one of those days where if he bought every ticket, he wouldn't win.
Yes. So again, it does obviously give Nightcliff every opportunity to still remain as a part of this game.
Cox brings it in. Butler spoils his opponent. Over the top, here they come. Nyhouse dances around Smith. Then picks out Phoenix Joe Paul, who's come a long way forward to try and get a kick. Hasn't really, he's been well held today. He comes off to Politis. Politis looks up. He's got a lead in Aidan Robinson, but he's going to be outmarked, and he's going to be outmarked by Bowden. 2 number 8s.
The man that we were talking about earlier, just flexing his muscles there.
So Bowden kicks up. Ryan Nyhouse, though, with a bit of a nudge, took Mazzini out.
Oh.
And Mazzini there on the receiving end.
Nyhouse not happy about it.
No, he wasn't. I'll probably replay that a few times, but looked like the right call to me. Comes back inboard, Smith. Now he's got a runner again in Rusker. Rusker proving pretty good on the spread, trying to pick out Lake. Lake puts his Nightcliff opponent under. Oh, great spin out of it there from McManus. Puts it straight on the boot. Bouncing ball, though. They're going to clear it out, though, through GCAS. GCAS's kick gets smothered. Matty Shannon there shrugs off one. Now he can go short, but his kick gets smothered and the ball will go out of bounds.
A great smother and great pressure there from Nightcliff. They're not ready to get out of this just yet. So.
No, the pressure's right on there from the Crocodiles. Interesting arm wrestle, 35 plays 17.
Exactly, but we know from a Nightcliff perspective that they've come back from a whole lot less, so it's really still anyone's game at this point.
Absolutely.
18-minute mark of the second quarter here.
As Butler just takes it out of the air. Oh, Brody went a bit early, gets away with it, comes to Dennis. Matty Dennis just puts it on the boot. The flyer there for Nightcliff couldn't bring it down. The kick comes back. Matty Dennis has got 3 bites of the cherry, gets it, and he gets told to play on because he didn't have clean possession. It was interfered with. Oh, at the back there was Dunstan. He then reaches in and gets it back out, then centres it, but it's going to be land in the hands of Politis. Petros Politis can look up, one of the Nightcliff juniors. Over the top, not a great kick from him. It's gone to Wines.
Did put Wines under pressure there.
Wines in front of Luke Smith goes inboard and finds Butler. Been the quiet achiever for Nightcliff since the start of the season is Harry Butler. Butler's kick. Now he's got a runner. Here they go, Nightcliff. Can they go inside their 50? They can. It's a long-looking kick. Wilson got his first hands on it. Now he's got a handball out. Can't get control. Cleaned up by Fijo. Balks once. Then gives it off to a teammate. The Crocs can come out through McManus. The gap closing quickly, but enough awareness for him to step back inside, and he does and picks out Mentha. Mentha looks up, and he's got Staunton. Running back to put him under pressure was Bailey Henderson. Staunton, though, he's got the leading Dunstan, who then holds his shin, but it's picked up by Smith. Smith with a left-hand bouncing kick will go for goal, but it's going to go out of bounds. Dunstan's still on the ground there, holding his shin or ankle. Bit of soreness and Ryan Nyhouse, and both of them hobble over to each other. They must have stepped on each other in that contest.
Yeah, great bit of sportsmanship there from Nyhouse to go over and help.
Nyhouse limping as well. That's not a good sign when your key defender's hobbling on one leg.
So whether or not it's a run it off, a bit of a tweak there for him, or if it's something a little bit more serious. Just got sports trainer checking on Dunstan.
Loose. Here they come again. Wines. A diving McQueen couldn't smother that. Picked up by Phoenix Joe Paul. Again, long way down for a half forward. He's had to kick it long and it's going to bounce. And I reckon the boundary line's going to beat everyone, and it does. Driscoll was there.
Phoenix Joe Paul's had a massive second quarter. He's had a lot of involvements.
He has, but he's had, unfortunately for him, he just hasn't had the... he's not getting his possessions where they need him to, which is inside that forward 50. He's had to come out a long way, which sort of speaks volumes of the way that the game's unfolding at the moment as the siren sounds to end the first half.
All right, and whoever's on that siren's working overtime. Wonderful. That's half-time here at Norbuilt Oval. It is Southern District's home game here, and they are certainly in this game. Southern District's 5-5-35 to Nightcliff 2-5-17. Half-time. We'll be right back with you after this break.
Only as far as Varco. Varco takes it 70 metres out, goes long. That's a great goal, Chav Varco. First goal of the game. Spins inboard, gives the hands out to his Palmerston player who's dispossessed on the kick. That fighting hard. 2 players went hard at it then. Umpire says play on. Picked out of there by the Palmerston player. I'm not sure if that was Mensch or Proctor, perhaps Proctor George.
Yeah, looks like Proctor.
And he goes to Tracy, who's playing a good game of footy from 55. Down there, Waylon Davies there, but coming across in front is big John O'Farah. He takes the mark, goes inboard to Varco, and just... So kicking from 25, 30 metres out, Trav Varco puts it through. Is Butson. He's got a player forward there in Thompson. He takes the mark there. Siren goes. And Ashton Hams is going to man the mark there. 50, said he moved.
He's put it through.
So that'll give the Wanderers some confidence going into half-time.
Convincing stuff there from Dre Thompson, and it is
Testing. Mensch with the little one there, picked up there by Harvey. He throws on his left boot forward. First to it there, Jonty Patrick. Little handball there. Back to the Palmerston player. I'm not too sure who that was. May have been
Jonty Patrick.
Jonty Patrick perhaps got it. Perhaps called. The man on the mark there right on 50. Thought he might have had a shot then, but there was no need. And Mensch, one of the most dangerous players on the competition, has found space inside 50, which is a very important shot for Palmerston. Runs around. Umpire says play on. Has hit it really well. Ball goes there. Newman's claiming touched. Umpire says no, and an automatic free kick there. So Javison Priest, that's it. Bombing inside 50, spirals one in there. Ball goes long, spills there to Stevie Motlop. That makes football look easy. Motlop around the corner, and Wanderers pinch that back straight away, back to 14 points. Set their season up. So ball back in the middle. Priest and Wack go hard at it. Varco, little handball to Mensch. Mensch on the left foot, goes inside 50. Farah's down there. Ball spills to the front, and Farah, I wasn't sure he got first hands on that, but umpire said he did.
And the hit back straight away from Motlop's goal. Comes in Farah. As fine as you like it. Josiah Farah points to the stands and hits back immediately. Magpies back on the board.
Over the skip at Staunton. Staunton, though, back inside to a running teammate in Woodcock. Woodcock picks out again a forward, and that forward is Dunstan. A little bit of a stutter as he comes in. Lines it up from 40 out. Goal umpire doesn't move. All clear is given, and the Crocs are on the board. Yep. Parides up to centre wing. Have a bit of a bounce.
Sam Fowler now with the ball, another bounce, gets the handball away, looking for Brandon Grenfell in his first game back for the season.
And they've just picked out Calder, easy as you like. So they've gone coast to coast there.
The next tallest in the team, I reckon, and he's kicking on goal.
Calder from 30 out, directly in front. He doesn't miss these. He's put it through. Saints are on the board. 2 goals, plays 1.
That's a Lucas Jellyman Turner who hits, I think it's Joey Salmon out there.
Yeah, Joey has picked out Dylan Lant. Kick from more than 50, you would think. He's got his kicks right on that 50-metre paint. It's certainly got the length. It's certainly got the straight, and it's gone through. Test, flyer. And I think now it's going to come out. They can run onto this. Stepping around it is Lockyer. Lockyer steps around one, runs into an open goal and scores.
Well, that's it.
Schwartz-Borks then tries to go and he gets caught. Parnell. Handballs to Parnell. Here comes Fowler. Has one bounce. Looks upfield. He's got at the back there. Who has he got?
Jackson Calder.
He's got Calder. Calder on the right. Gutters it through.
Great goal by Jackson Calder.
Lant just gives the biggest nudge out to McQueen. Let go. Play on is the call. Leading it is Salmon. Well, bit of an angle, but it should be okay. He's a right footer. And he sets it up and just guides it through perfectly for the Saints' 5th goal. For Grenfell, who got position and had height, but put under enormous pressure by Brodie Lake. Caught. Out it comes out to Fowler. Everyone's waiting for something to happen, and Fowler just runs in the open goal and scores.
What a goal by Sam Fowler. He's been
Long way up is Mazzini. Bounced off his chest initially.
Paid
Then
the
he's
mark.
given it to the running Woodcock. Woodcock gives it back over to Mazzini. Now he's got a running McLaughlin. Dylan McLaughlin then just sets it up easily on that right foot and through.
That was a beautiful running goal by Dylan McLaughlin. So much composure.
So Luke Oborn at centre half forward has his kick sort of chopped off initially, loose on the ground. It's been picked up though. That's Hillier, and Hillier scores.
Of Nyhouse, he's set upon quickly. Deary extracts it, but it comes out loose, and the pro, I call him the professional, that guy, Brodie Carroll. Darcy Hope, he wheels and goes onto his right. Sort of had $1 each way here, but it's gone beautiful. Did well, Jorgensen drifting forward.
Waratahs at the start of the year here, presenting, hitting up with the footy.
Yeah, there he is. The 100-gamer. Ryan Moo has it. Kicks it into the pocket. Hit. Beautiful hit. That man, Michael Mummery, could be the Kodak snap of the day. One step out. He's ripped it around. Has he gone around far enough? Yeah, that's clever. That is a clever shot. Well done there. Over to Edwards, who's been good into Philo. Philo a little bit casual here. He loves doing that. He goes long and strong. Butcher. Oh, bread and butter for Brodie. Philo, you'd love it.
Hypnotises him into it.
He hypnotises him, and Butcher doesn't miss.
So that's Butcher's fourth?
Yeah. It's a beautiful boot to ball, and this is better. This is better. Magro's out. There. He's had a little fumble there. He lost his footing. He regathered it well.
It's a good goal.
Oh, that's a great goal there.
McDonagh. Fresh off
McDonagh.
Fresh off Essendon's list, straight into the Waratah lineup and kicks himself a sausage roll.
That's a nice long kick down in the direction of Mummery. Mummery a little bit of candy. Shows it, scrubs it along the ground. Not the way Butcher likes to have him. Wilson on the snap.
Great start for Nightcliff there. Ball movement coming through Wilson.
Is he going to pay this? Have we got a free kick?
No.
All clear. Forward. Falls into Hammond's hands. Hammond chips it out wide.
Mummery.
And it's Mummery on the lead. Nyhouse have been outstanding for Tigers. Mummery shows a little, and Butcher.
On with the check side from range.
No. Oh, he's a talent, this kid. Oh, the boys get around him. A little bit of frustration there from Term. Free kick to Willow.
He's got time to shoot here.
He's got time on the left foot.
Got his six.
Oh, Johnny Butcher.
6 sausage rolls for a big Butcher.
Free kick to Shawnee Wilson. They played on quickly, the Tigers. Goes over to Johnny Butcher, and he kicks his 6th. Ethan Brown, hard and strong as always down back. A big cheerio out to his old man Jamie down at in Bundaberg. So if Jamie's tuning in, which he will be, g'day JB. And Magro picks up a goal, a rare
chunk time goal,
rare easy possession today.
to Sam D'Souza. Tries to play on.
Yeah.
Gives the handball there to Darley. Darley goes long inside 50. Big full forward.
Oh, Majak.
Oh, big Majak down there. Big Majak plucks one early. It's going to go left to right.
Well, it's just stuck in.
Does, just snuck in. They get round him. Geez, they look up and about, Tiwi. They're on the board. Once for that free kick he gave away. Thompson goes up. Ball goes over the back. I think that is Sam Darley. He has a bounce. Runs in. Beautiful kick. Never looked like missing earlier.
He's pumped.
He's pumped. Taylor. He drills one in the middle. Mark there taken by Finoti. Right on quarter time. It's 2-on-1 there. Ball spills to the front. Well read there by Silva Yusuf. And the man with the name like a rock star, front and square, crumbed that well. And that's a goal in red time, the Pint, which he goes to Dion Munkara. Shanks one forward on the left boot. Probably not the worst result. Got a shocking bounce there for Lippo Singh. Taken there by Cantilla. Back to Munkara. Munkara on his left foot. And that's good footy from Tiwi. Well done. Much deserved goal.
Yep.
Goes in the middle. Picked up there by, I think that's Jeffrey Simon. He goes short. Lippo Singh is there. Round on the right boot. That's a better kick. That's going to come round with the breeze. He likes it. Gives the crowd the salute right on half time.
The bow and arrow.
The bow and arrow and everything. And Tiwi put their foot to the floor. Have kicked up. He gives to to Jeffrey Simon. Back to Tippin Woody. Tippin Woody on his left foot out in front of Cantilla. Goes inside. Goes boundary side. Turns his opposition. That's two bounces. Kim Cantilla. Well done. Great movement by Tiwi. And they're up and about. They extend their lead to 16 points.
And you can hear the crowd up and about as well.
We're going in the end. Harvey for his second possession in a couple of minutes. Chased there by Wiley. Good use of the footy there by Harvey. Stem a bit of the momentum. It's going to go left to right. Hit it beautifully well. Straight over the goal umpire's head. One, and he hits up Rob Boss. Rob Boss plays on.
Yeah.
And Stanley Tipalura. He goes take two from a similar spot. Majak!
Yeah. Standing all by himself.
Right in front of the Tiwi faithful down there. That set him alight. The middle, and the mark there taken by Shot. Shot on his right boot into that breeze. Couple of big targets down there. Well read off hands there by Silva Yusuf. And he slams through his second. Good roving, good crumbing as a small forward.
All right, ladies and gents, welcome back to Norbuilt Oval here for the 2022-23 TIO NTFL season. Round 6 action. We have Southern Districts taking on Nightcliff, and Southern Districts have well and truly shined in the first half. Score here, 5-5-35, Nightcliff's 2-5-17. My name is Tara Harris, joining me in the corporate box. Would you call it a corporate box?
Absolutely. It would be a low-budget corporate box, but definitely a corporate box, Tara, in these times of tight fiscal inflation. 5 goal scorers for the Southern Districts Crocodiles, and all individual goal scorers for each of their goals, but some big names in there. Dunstan's proven handy up front. Matty Dennis has even got one. So too is Fraser Driscoll, as well as Luke Smith and Roy George with a cracker on the line. And Brody Philo was the only goal scorer for Nightcliff. He has 2. But I've got to say to you, compared to other games, Brody Philo is perhaps a little bit down on his possessions compared to previous weeks.
Yeah, no, you're right in saying that, Ash. I think Southern Districts just worked hard. They're working hard in the midfield, in their forward and in defence, really across the board. You can't imagine that Shannon Rusker had too many negative things to say at halftime.
No, but you made the point about Nightcliff coming out after halftime well ahead of Southern Districts. So do you think Chris Bash might have given them a bit of a tune-up half-time?
Yeah, you'd say so. I think that just to maybe sharpen up a little bit, you'd assume.
Well, he's going to want a little bit more as the game starts, gets underway. Callum Loney throws it up in the air, and it's one out by Aidan Robinson from Nightcliff. Rare victory in the air as Philo with a quick handball off the ground straight away comes to Henderson. Then it goes back to Aidan Robinson, but it's chopped off there by Roy George, who's coming off the half-forward flank. Roy George gives it out to a running Brody Lake, who's had a great game so far. On to Mentha for Districts. Mentha to a leading Dunstan through his hands. Bouncing at the back there, though, and picked up by Mazzini. Then back into the middle corridor to a leading Boyd Woodcock, who has taken 3 marks in that space in the first half and has just taken his 4th.
And these are a little bit better conditions than he took his first mark. I think there was a bit of rain around in the first half, so you see how he goes on this.
So Boyd Woodcock will go back and have a deliberate shot at goal, and we've only been going a minute here at Norbuilt Oval so far in the third quarter, the premiership quarter, as they say. The Crocs with a handy lead at this point. Can Woodcock make it further? He's shanked it looking for distance. It's come off hands and will go through for a point.
Early strike on the board there for Southern Districts. Not between the big sticks though, but again, just to scratches a little bit further in the lead.
No, Nyhouse brings it out moving much better than he finished off the first half. There was a hold there. Let go. Play on is the call. Dragged down was GCAS. Let go again. He looked up looking for from assistance from the umpire. It's going to bounce, though, in front of Matty Dennis and Aidan Robinson. Dennis steps around his opponent, comes off to Roy George. Back to Dennis. Dennis with a big right foot kick sends it straight down the line. In there is Wines, can't grab it cleanly. Gets it second time, though. Manages to give a handball back to Philo. Back in board to Moo. Moo can go over the top if he wants, and he does, to Philo. So Philo injecting himself into this game in the third quarter after having a quiet first half by his standards. He balks one way and goes back the other. The kick's not going to be great, though, and is going to go out of bounds. Not on the full, but they give up easy possession.
Umpire Rainey says he will throw that in.
Matty Dennis is going to take Matty front position against Aidan Robinson. Robinson won that centre hit out. See what he can do here. Aidan Robinson has got Wilson and he's got Philo there. It's come off the hands. High. In fact, Dennis, in reaching over the top, has actually got Aidan Robinson high, and Robinson can give it off to a runner. And he does. Tom North sends it in.
Oh.
And a great lead there. Comes off hands, though. That was Butler on the lead. Loose. We're all just trying to get in there and pick it up. Bowden was in there. So too is Fijo for Districts. In the back and high. Just let go. Held up. And a free kick's been paid against the Nightcliff player for making no attempt sitting over it. And it'll go to Schwartz. Schwartz, they're all calling him. He spreads it out. Picks out McQueen. 2 bites, but he brings it back down. He plays on quickly and goes back into that middle corridor. Picks out Roy George. George swivels and turns, takes a step. Couldn't quite get it with Shannon. Dribbled it. Trying to push off high. Let go was Mentha. Lake has come all the way down from the half-back flank. Tries to give it over to a running Dennis. Dennis runs into Brown. Wilson's in there. Still can't get clean possession. Taken high, I thought, in that tackle. And it's been paid. And it will go to Brody Lake, who put his head over the ball and just got taken high in that tackle by Brown, who just queries that, but it was there.
He's in a good scoring position here, and Lake did have a really good opening quarter. A bit quiet in the second, but we'll see where he lands off this kick. As I said, in a pretty reasonable scoring position.
Lake.
Oh, umpire just correcting his line.
Yeah, he was trying to sneak around.
He certainly was. He was seeing how far he could get.
He's a fair way out, I'd say, from here. He's going to be kicking either on the 50-metre arc or just in front of it. He's a long way out, but he is directly in front. He's not got a bad kick on him, Brody Lake. As he just lines up, it's certainly got the direction right, but I think it's going to be touched on the line and through for a point, and it is.
Still
last
a massive
line of defence for Nightcliff.
Still a massive kick there for Brody Lake. Obviously, as you said, just touched on the line. But again, Southern Districts just working hard in the third quarter.
They are. Nightcliff trying to get it out, and in doing so force it, and they force it out of bounds. Nightcliff defence.
A few errors here for Nightcliff.
A bit unusual because they've been pretty clean with the ball, with the hands and the feet in the last few weeks, and I guess it goes to the level of the pressure being put on them by Southern District's home ground advantage, I guess, out here at Norbuilt. Dennis wins out, but he doesn't really find a teammate. Now he does. Smith, in fact, it wasn't Smith, it was Maney. And the ball will go out of bounds in front of Driscoll.
Noting they do have an out as well, that Cam Ellis-Yeoman has put on the boots in a few rounds this season for the districts, the Crocs.
Hasn't come out.
But obviously just not on the list this week, but they're doing well.
They are. He's a big out as well, Cameron Ellis-Yeoman. He had a very strong influence on their second game out here. Dennis and Robinson forced to run in and overrun it both. In there is Woodcock with quick hands. Comes to McManus. Grass cutter kick isn't great. Gets cut off by Wines. In there is Maney. Socket off the ground by Wilson for Nightcliff. Bouncing in front of Butler, who then slides over. Rusker picks it up, but he's wrapped up by Ladd. Loose. Bowden with composure. Just kicks it long to a contest. Trying to get it was Wines. Just went straight to ground. He's going to be lucky if he gets away with this. And luck's on his side. Well, he just grabbed it and fell straight to ground, forcing a contest and a ball up. Robinson versus Dennis. One out again by Dennis, punched forward towards the district's goals. Cleaned up, though, by the Nightcliff defenders. Brown with a handball over the top to his teammate North. Butler in there. So too is Phoenix Joe Paul. Comes back inboard. Now it's picked off there to Brown, who's just drifted down from half back, and Brown picks out another teammate in Lachlan Huppets, who goes over the top to Petros Politis. So Politis can go back and have a shot at goal, and he's actually not that far out, and it's probably very kickable.
There is a bit of breeze about at the moment, so it's not as still as it was. Not sure if that's going to assist him in getting that over the line.
No, it's now blowing towards us in the commentary box, so across the face of goal.
His fellow teammates trust him to get it done because no one in the square.
And he's put it up and high and through.
Much needed score there for Nightcliff. That bumps them up a little bit further. Southern District's 5-7-37 to Nightcliff's 3-5-23. You think that Chris Bucks would be happy with that one, and obviously hopefully a bit of a change in momentum for Nightcliff.
Yeah, well, they'll be looking to try and kickstart something from there. They've actually been pretty good in the first few minutes, but District's over. It's a great contest in that mid-zone. 5-7-37 plays 3-5-23 as we go back to a restart. Very, very good contest in that mid-zone.
Umpires this weekend are wearing black armbands, if you would have noticed, due to the sad passing of former NTFL UA boundary umpire Gaetano Gugliata, who umpired 175 matches. Known as Mr. G and was a long-term teacher at Nakara Primary for shuffling along the boundary. Long-term Nightcliff Football Club volunteer from juniors to seniors, and his wife Helen was a sports trainer.
Yep.
Rest in peace, Googs.
And the boys played at Nightcliff themselves as Roy George with a long handball over to Brodie Lake. He gives it off to the running Ethan Maney. Maney starting to injecting himself into the game. There's Woodcock in there. That was the target, but Woodcock gets out marked. A very strong mark there. GCAS comes across, and they're going to bring it back out. Oh, Matt Shannon just dispossessed him as easy as you like. Dispossessed his opponent there, and just kept his composure.
Good to see Matt Shannon up and about. Obviously had that tweak in the second quarter here on his, we weren't sure either shin or lower ankle area, but obviously up and about again.
Robinson's going to lead the race to the ball, and he does. Doesn't really tip. I don't know if he's given it to a teammate or not, because the ball is going to be play's going to be restarted. Didn't really get anywhere. Umpire Noonan straight in there and gets it going straight away. Loose on the ground. Woodcock just miskicked as he got through the traffic there. Dennis has played one kick behind. Now Manny Dennis handballs it over. It's not great to Rusker. Rusker's up to it though, cleans it up. They go back out. taken without the ball was Staunton, but I think he's going to go for holding the ball, and he is. The kick is long.
Oh.
Off hands there was McManus. Pushed in the back, let go. That was Mummery. Now McManus can clean it up. Maybe he's got a second time. Politis came in to put pressure on him. Bowden's there, and the ball goes out of bounds. Well, I thought McManus was a little bit unlucky there.
Yeah, I would say too.
Mummery looked like he had both hands, but that's okay.
Yes, and obviously umpires are out there, but yeah, no, unfortunate. But it does provide an opportunity here for Nightcliff to have a strike.
Right around. Pretty good spot. They spoil each other. Comes off hands, going to come through. Brodie Lake is there to clean up.
Great
Been
handle.
one of their best today for districts. Roy George can run away. He's now got a teammate over, and that's Maney. Maney has time. Jake McQueen has just come on, was presenting himself as a target. Dunstan got 2 bites, then put it on the boot. Is going to grubber it towards the goal, but it'll just go through to the right and through for a point. McQueen screaming for it there. He just come off the interchange as the Tigers bring it back out onto the scoreboard side here at Norbuilt Oval.
Nightcliff turning it over very fast here, obviously trying to strike while the iron's hot and while their players kind of have a bit of distance.
Nyhouse, as they move forward, the Tigers. George in the contest. Scooping it up is Fijo. Balks one way. Then to a lead on the inside and picks them out beautifully. And the teammate he's picked out, I think, is that Boyd Woodcock. Those two have passed off to each other, along with McQueen to Woodcock. And Woodcock has had 3 or 4 shots from this spot on the field.
It's been a very successful recipe for the Crocs this afternoon.
So can he go in and put through what will be described as a steadier? He plays on, tries to run around the man on the mark, goes long, and he forces it to the right. Well, in looking for that little extra distance, he put it through for a point.
2 behinds in a matter of minutes there for districts. Nightcliff obviously with the opportunity here to get it upfield.
So Philo looking to restart it for the Tigers. And he plays on, runs his full quota, brings it out to this far side. Bousted versus Phoenix Joe Paul. One out by Phoenix Joe Paul from his own shark. Over the top to Robinson. Aidan Robinson in front of Dennis. Doesn't try and pick it up. Dennis does. Hurried kick, loose on the ground. Now they can go away from the Tigers players through Ethan Maney. Maney looking for Dunstan in the pocket, off his hands and through for a point. Put his hands to his head to say, oh, I got hit in the head, but umpire's not falling for it.
No. Districts again, you're just continuing to apply the pressure here to Nightcliff. You thought after the goal earlier that maybe Nightcliff would have a bit of forward momentum, but really just still applying the pressure here to Districts.
Mazzini took front position there. Butler was against him and it's come straight back down. In fact, Nyhouse was against him. Now it's coming out. Nyhouse trying to get her hands on it. Socket off the ground. Tackle without the ball, or has he got the ball? And a free kick's been found and paid. And it'll go to Nightcliff and it'll go to Nathan Brown. Brown handballs off to a runner. Sent straight up to another contest. Robinson versus Dennis. Dennis has got some cavalry back up. They'll get away with it.
Oh.
Galbraith. And Galbraith just chipped it out in front. And he went back to Driscoll. Driscoll goes to Bowden. Bowden has got McManus in the middle corridor. In fact, it's not McManus. It's Waitman. Waitman, his kick was good to Fijo, went through his hands. Mentha runs onto it, though. Mentha from 48 lines it up at the goals.
Oh.
And again, through for a point. So the Crocs peppering those goals.
They are. And I think that obviously extends the lead a little bit further for them. And they're going the long way around it to get these points on the board.
15 scoring shots to 8. Tara, just, perhaps it should be 10-5, not 5-10. Loose over the back. They can just settle it down in the middle. McQueen got taken out in that contest. Let go. Play on's the call. He recovers quickly with a second effort, forcing the pressure and potentially a turnover. Dennis just picks it up, the big ruckman, gives it off to Staunton, who just chips it over the top. Schwartz punches it on. In there is Maney. And he gets pushed in the back for his trouble. So Maney will get a free kick. No, in fact, Luke Smith will get the free kick. And Dunstan goes one way, then the other, doubles back. Punched away over the top. Trying to pick it up there is Fijo. Comes back to him. No, Nightcliff's going to run this out. They're going to settle it down. It's going to be marked again. This time it's going to be marked by Galbraith. Galbraith centering kick. Plucked out of the air. And I reckon Rockin' Ronnie Fijo is going to go back and have a shot at goal.
His first shot on goal for the afternoon for Ronnie Fijo. And he's kicking from an angle.
He's everyone's just saying get out of the way, so Fijo will go in, and he's going to be further out, but he's not got much of a no angle to speak of, really, as we can see. Great camera angle just there. And he sits it up. Is it going to come back? And it doesn't, and it goes through for a point.
Is another point there, a matter of minutes there for Southern Districts. 5-11-41 to 3-5-23. This is the third quarter of the Southern Districts Nightcliff clash here for round 6 of the 2022-23 season.
Well, the skipper really looking for answers for Nightcliff is Ryan Nyhouse. And he goes to Brodie Philo. Philo's lifted his work rate in this third as goes through Butler's fingers for Nightcliff. Tapped out. Running onto it there again is Fijo. Fijo then through the middle corridor has got Brandon Rusker, who's drifted down. Rusker immediately looks for a lead and comes off hands there in a contest. Comes back out. The Tigers trying to ease the pressure on themselves. Stepping back inside, dropping the ball and gets pinged for holding it. And Brodie Lake, who's really had a great day out today for the Southern Districts, brings it back inboard to Michael Bowden.
Nightcliff push a lot of players forward.
They do. They're trying to. They've got no one inside their 50. As Bo Schwartz, on the run immediately, looking for Dunstan. Over his head. Punched at the back. Picked up by Manus. Right foot snap at goal. Through for a point.
A lot of shots on goal here, and I think, if anything, it's lucky from... I mean, there is a bit of pressure there from a Nightcliff perspective. However, we're looking at 5 behind in a matter of sort of 15 minutes here.
And there is not a single Nightcliff player inside the 50-metre arc in the scoring area for Nightcliff.
You can see they're trying to take advantage and get kind of free and break free before the other players make their way up forward, but none of the Nightcliff players have actually made their way up forward and giving them opportunity to get it up.
Dunstan taps it to Luke Smith, who puts it on the boot and is high. Nathan Brown, last line of defence for the Tigers, tries to take a chest mark on the line, and it's punched through for a point.
I think the last couple there have been kicked out by Philo or directly to Philo. You'd think that Philo would have better positioning more midfield and get them over the line there, but he's been really pushed up high in defence.
Yeah, he has, and it goes to the credit of Southern Districts that they were able to put those midfielders under that sort of pressure and force the turnover. Brown ends up with it now.
So they're slowing it down here, Nightcliff.
They are.
Clean play.
Can they keep possession, maintain possession cleanly, and just work their way forward? They've got to kick to a big contest, and it's not. It's been turned straight over to Schwartz. So Bo Schwartz for Districts. Just centres it inboard and picks out Boyd Woodcock. Woodcock, again, out wide, over the hands of Staunton. It's spoiled in the air by Wines. Wines gives Staunton a bit of a shove in the back and just let go. Play on is the call. Stepping around there is Politis. Politis looking for Butler. Butler gets it punched away from him. And good work by Ben Galbraith then just to keep Butler under pressure. This is about as deep as Nightcliff has got in the last few minutes.
Yeah, correct.
And they're still not inside their 50.
No.
But I notice now they've at least got one inside their 50, and that's Phoenix Joe Paul. Dennis sets himself up. Can't pick it up. Now it comes back to Mentha. Mentha's kick is not great. Will go over the top. Bousted putting his opponent under pressure. The District's youngster all over his opponent. and a deliberate free kick has been found, so deliberately out of bounds, and Bousted earned it as the three-quarter time siren sounds.
All right, and there it is, third quarter, all wrapped up here. We have Southern Districts 5-13-43 to Nightcliff's 3-5-23. So shorter quarters here due to the heat policy being enacted. So one more quarter to go here for round 6 action between Southern Districts and Nightcliff. Southern Districts just extending that lead a little bit further. A lot of behinds in that third quarter, though. We'll be back right after this break.
Your radio, they go.
Wow, what a goal to start the game.
Picked up by Beautiful. Goes for home and has nailed an absolute ripstorter. From the pocket, and he's kicked an absolute ripper.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Norbuilt Oval here for round 6 action of the 2022-23 TIO NTFL season. Southern Districts taking on Nightcliff. If you've just joined us, Southern Districts 5-13-43 to Nightcliff 3-5-23, and it has been Southern Districts' ball game today, hasn't it, Ash?
It has. Matty Dennis against Aidan Robinson underway. Umpire Beard throwing it up. It's going to come straight out again. Districts kicking right to screen. Comes back to Dennis of the handball. Socket off the ground, though, by the Jack Hammond for the Tigers. Following it up there is James Gow. Loose on the ground, leading the race to the ball is Phoenix Joe Paul. Wrapped up without it by Brandon Rusker. And a free kick will be given to him. In fact, no, it'll go out of bounds. So a good contest there. Rusker's had a really good game today.
He has.
Southern Districts player.
And credit to Nightcliff. They've come in guns a-blazing. Considering in the third quarter, they got it in the inside 50 all of maybe 3 times.
Yeah, so they've immediately gone straight in there. Butler over the top, wins it out. It's going to come to Luke Smith, though. They'll try and bring it out through Driscoll, but it's landed in the hands of Bowden and has gone out of bounds again and will be thrown in. So the Crocs controlling it in the Nightcliff forward end. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the Tigers can set up here. It's in a very good field position for the Tigers to do something with it. It's going to be Dennis versus Butler. One out by Butler with a good contest. Lands on the hands of Politis. Politis with a snap at goal. Bounces and through for a point. Well, that's a good start from the Tigers' point of view in the context that they're able to put scoring pressure on straight away.
100%.
Crocs bring it out and wide. Dennis, off his hands, was the target. Roy George has come down from half forward. Just skipping away from there is McQueen, looking for Lake. Lake wraps up his opponent and doesn't really go anywhere. And that was Bailey Edwards. So the ball will be thrown in.
It's umpire Cooper Rainey, who spent a bit of time with the AFL Women's umpiring this season as well. So congratulations to Cooper.
One of 3, actually, Tara.
Yeah, correct. So was it Isabel Rawston?
Isabel Rawstorn and Emma Stark.
Exactly.
And
yes.
a whole heap of other umpires that had previously spent time up here also in that AFLW. So that's good. Sammy Nipris was one of them. He's from Alice Springs.
It's a great opportunity.
It is, and you can see that it's benefited for them as hands come out now. That's good running from Fijo. Oh, Borks and shows it, then goes. Good quality from him. Wilson can't grab it one time. Wrapped up there was Robinson and slung to the ground, and the ball will be balled up.
This is kind of the pressure you've been wanting to see from Nightcliff the whole game.
Yeah. In fact, the player that was last off the ground was Brown. It is, and they have really gone at each other, these two sides. 20 points the difference. 19 points the difference, actually, but can't get away with it there. Is Galbraith. Politis is the one that's wrapped him up.
So a reminder to our punters watching at home, shorter quarters today. The heat policy was enacted for this match, so we are 2 minutes off the usual game time for this quarter.
Dennis has just smashed that forward, and Matty Shannon was there and then got a push in the back and a sloppy tackle from Tom North. No, it'll go to Matt Shannon. It's good umpiring there because it was a sloppy old tackle in the end, and Shannon will actually end up with the kick, and immediately he goes over the top, but the mark is going to be taken there by Nathan Brown. Experience, all 200 games of experience showing there.
It's a beautiful mark.
Back inside. Out they come.
That's good from
through
Nightcliff.
Stanley Cox.
Great from Nightcliff.
Picks up Bailey Henderson. Henderson kicks to a contest, though. It's 1-on-3. They can't quite get away with it. Crocs in there, hands and knees. Moo with quick hands. Turning into trouble. Hurried handball away. Moo again. Still can't get away with it. Jack Hammond gives it off to a teammate. Henderson. Back to Phoenix, Joe Paul. To Mummery it was. Over the top, can't do it. Bit hot. Ball kicks out into open space. Nightcliff will lead the race to the ball. Politis can't pick it up. It's still in. Bousted in there. Comes in, causes trouble, and forces a turnover.
It's good to see Bousted back in as well. Obviously had that collision in the first quarter, so I believe it's his first time back on since.
Hopefully no long-term issues from that. Robinson took front position, but I think Dennis got a hand on it. Maney is in there, grabbed it. And still no prior opportunity, so the ball will be restarted. And the one with the heavily strapped head is actually Kai Jones. One out by Dennis, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Not to a teammate anyway. Sock it up the ground. This will be close to be deliberate, and it has been. He was never really kicking to a teammate. Good call.
You see that Bucksy's obviously had a bit of a chat with his boys at 3/4 time and just asked to apply the pressure, very politely, I'd imagine.
Yep. As Philo comes inboard. And his kick goes to Huppets. Huppets then sending it up. Nowhere to go. Picking it up was Hammond. And he got wrapped up and got pinged for holding the ball as Matt Shannon in that tackle. So Matt Shannon.
One of the Crocs' best today, you'd think.
Yeah, he's been very, very serviceable. Boyd Woodcock is, for my mind, in their top couple as well. Dennis rarely plays a bad game, and he's been consistent where they can. Maney's come into it in the second half. He doesn't really have a target upfield, and he's being encouraged to go in short, and he picks out McManus. He's been useful through the midfield as well, has McManus. Staunton goes a short lead, lets it go. He's going to kick it up the field, though. Roy George is the flyer up front. Off hands to Mazzini. Now it comes to McQueen. McQueen's just going to let it bounce over the top. Dunstan was there, and it's gone through. It's gone out of bounds. Nyhouse just asking the question, but the fielder, boundary umpire was in a great spot.
Correct. So we'll have a throw in here.
Mazzini's gone into the ruck for Southern Districts, and he wins out. Now he can rove it there. It's come straight out to Woodcock. Woodcock straight on the centering kick. They spoil each other. Jones onto Dunstan. Dunstan with a right foot snap. Left foot snap and through for a goal.
Goal umpire does not move. And that just...
Sorry, keep going.
And that extends the lead further there for Southern Districts. That's one of their first forward entries of the quarter, and they have made it work. That is Southern Districts. 6-13-49 to Nightcliff, 3-6-24.
Yeah,
Not a lot of scoring opportunities for Nightcliff.
No, they've had a fair bit of the use of the ball. They did outscore Southern Districts in that third term. Scored the only goal of the quarter, held Southern Districts goalless. But Dunstan with that right foot really did well and was dangerous. But again, it was Woodcock combining with McQueen and these other guys to sort of bring it into that middle corridor and bring it to the ground. And the big fella just roved the work that was done. Dennis gets beaten by Robinson, picked up by Schwartz for Districts though, off McQueen's chest with a thump. McQueen gets back onto his preferred left foot. Kick is just miskicked. Ends up with his opponent in Huppets. Huppets kicks it to a contest, and where waiting for it is Bowden. Bowden will take on Bailey Edwards. Rusker goes back to help, slides onto the ground, got taken high in the process, and Brandon Rusker will have a free kick. Been close to their best on ground for my money, Brandon Rusker.
He's been very consistent.
His kick, though, is going to put them under enormous pressure here as Mummery's going to lead the race to the ball. Mummery with a little right foot dribbler. Doesn't go quick enough and is cleaned up right on the line by the District's defenders. And they'll come out through McManus, who takes a sliding mark in front of Shanton Ladd. Then over to Brodie Lake. He's another one that's been in their top 3 or 4. Lake in a pass on a lead to Mazzini. Mazzini just turns and goes. Smith sliding, marks. Districts have got options in the middle now. Dean Staunton takes a step, looks up. Dennis is there, but in comes through Jake McQueen, and Jake McQueen takes a simple chest mark in the end. I thought they were going to run into each other, Dennis and McQueen.
It's a bit of experience from Dennis, where he had the opportunity to spoil or get involved, and he thought he had almost the education or footy education to go, no, there's a player here in a better position than I am, and it's going to pay off for them, you'd think.
Well, they've got some contributors today as the Southern District side, because they were a bit flat last week against St Mary's in what was a game that was very much winnable for them, but they didn't get the candy on that day. St Mary's won and so, but today they're out to make amends. 25 points the difference as Jake McQueen comes in. No angle at all. He's directly in front and he's going to kick from about 45 out. Gives it everything. Kicks it straight. Teammates love it. He likes it. And the all clear is given.
And there it is. Keeps striking there for the Crocs. They have extended that lead a little bit further. Southern District 7-13-55 to Nightcliff's 3-6-24. So we head back into the centre for a ball up.
This is actually going to... It's interesting because it's 2 versus 4 and Nightcliff were second on the ladder going into this game with quite a substantial percentage, courtesy of the Tiwi game. But now this is going to make it a little bit interesting with some of the other games that are now being played around the grounds, particularly that Palmerston-Darwin game.
Correct. Only a few points in it at second quarter there a few moments ago. I imagine that's still quite close. And Tiwi Waratah about to get underway at Gardens Oval shortly.
As Dennis has his kick smothered off the line. Leading the race is Roy George. Put under pressure is Ladd. George tries to tap it back inboard. Brody Philo with a quick hands gives it off to Shanton Ladd. Don't really know what's the situation there. It's gone out of bounds. Bowden will get it, and Bowden just moves it on straight away. District's prepared to get it moving through Schwartz. Bowden to Schwartz, and Schwartz goes over the top, and somehow Fijo's become alone. So Ronnie Fijo, he plays on, runs around his opponent on the mark. Dunstan, easy mark on the chest. About 2 metres in. He's got teammates in the goal square telling him to just put it into the contest straight away, and he just kicks it into that middle corridor where McQueen tries to set himself backing into a pack. Over the top was Huppets, then on to Wilson as they try to bring it out through James Gow. Free kick's been found downfield. It's in the hands of Michael Mummery. Mummery has got a handball, and it's not a great handball, straight onto the ground. And that handball was to Lachlan Huppets, and it goes out of bounds. A little bit of push and shove, and for some reason they're just in there a bit late. Brody Lake and Ryan Moo having a conversation about that handball potentially. And a free kick's been found, and it's going to go to Ryan Moo. So obviously Ryan won the argument about the handball.
Yeah,
and got a free kick.
It was a good conversation. Really polite.
Back inboard. Harry Butler. Now they're going to go away through Wines. Wines can just send it long.
Great kick.
It was, and drifting down there was Nyhouse, who couldn't quite get a hand on it. Now he tries to regather through a second effort or a third effort. Oh, just bumped off that too easily. Daniel Jackson then gets it, puts it on the boot, and through for a goal.
There it is.
The Tigers on the board. Was it Jackson? No, it was. I think it was Phoenix Joe Paul actually that got the goal, courtesy of a Daniel Jackson handball.
No, Nightcliff did well there. Obviously took advantage of the free kick, paid to move further upfield. Bit of a miss mark there from Nyhouse, but when under pressure there, they played the ball well and got it between the big sticks. Extending, obviously, there is still a significant lead there for Southern Districts as we pass the 13-minute mark of the last quarter here at Norbuilt. Southern Districts 7-13-55 to Nightcliff's 4-6-30. It's a good turnout today, Ash, obviously, for Croc's home game out here at the Fred's Pass Oval. Really ripper supporters here, and good to see the Nightcliff guys get across the Barramah line.
It is, and the weather conditions were tough early on in the afternoon, and we're now seeing a rural sunset set in as it's picked up and sent straight forward. Although Wines is going to pick it up, and he does, and plays on quickly. Puts it out in front of Shanton Ladd. One bounce, he picks it up.
He does have time here.
No. He's put it way far too in front of his skipper, Ryan Nyhouse, and the boundary line has beaten him. Boundary line. So the ball will be thrown in.
I think that has a lot to say from the district's pressure today, where they've applied a really reasonable amount of pressure where Nightcliff are actually probably making those mistakes they wouldn't usually make.
And I agree with you entirely, 100%, in terms of their midfield has been put under all sorts of pressure today by the Southern District's opponents. Staunton with a quick kick. Wines has got to get rid of it. Here they come back out again, just under even more pressure. That's the type of pressure we're talking about. Still kept in. Roy George, wow, that must have been close to the line. That must have been super close.
have a ball in here, just passing the 14.5-minute mark here, the last quarter.
25 points the difference here. Districts had a lead and held on to it most of the day. Socket kicked off the ground and will go out of bounds again. So they're just edging it forward ever so easily. They're manned up at the moment. Nightcliff defence and the District's forwards. Mazzini got his hands on it. Coming through there was George. It's out in front now of Luke Smith, who just soccers it forward. Dunstan's second hand of the ball. Well, unlucky as that is, it was well read, though, by his opponent, Stanley Cox. And Cox was looking for Philo, who got taken out in the marking contest and will be the recipient of a free kick.
Had a quiet one, Philo.
Yeah, quiet by his standards. Definitely quiet by his standards, and definitely quiet by the standards he's set in the last 3 weeks. Districts, there was a hold after release of the ball, so Nightcliff will actually get the free kick. Nightcliff supporters asking for a 50 after it was kicked away, but umpire Noonan says no.
Oh, great mark.
Bailey Henderson sends it forward. Phoenix Joe Poole. Been a sensation since the start of the year. The flyer was Nyhouse. Really trying to get something going for his team up forward. Can't do it.
And a reminder for those watching at home, we do not have the lengthy quarters due to the heat policy being enacted here. So if Nightcliff do want to make a stand here and strike while the iron's hot, they've got to do so now.
Yeah, that time on will start actually at the 18-minute mark. Tara?
Correct.
As the whistle sounds and a hold has been found, and it'll go to Southern Districts. They've got to come back and come around behind the mark. And it'll go to Mazzini from the ruck contest, and he goes to Fijo. So Ron Fijo, been a handy acquisition.
He has been, yes.
For Southern Districts this year. Been very impressed with his work rate. Up to a contest, Dennis over the hands. Whistle's gone again, bit of a push, and it'll go to Nightcliff, who will have to stop and bring it back. Bailey Edwards was away, but it's now going to go to Tom North.
There's a bit of a request here to switch, which looks like they've opted.
So straight into the midfield. Now they can set this up, Nightcliff. On the lead. Couldn't get it, was Politis. Not the first time anyway. Second time he wraps up his opponent. And Mazzini will force a restart. And then goes into the ruck and wins it out. Fijo can't get clean possession. Nightcliff, though, forcing it forward. Really not... No one can get clean possession. The pressure is so good. Fijo just sticks it straight on the boot, bouncing. Bousted's in there against Tom North. Taken high on the contest, I thought, on the ground, and Tom North will get the free kick. Callum Loney, the umpire, straight in there. That was a good free kick. North was over the top of it and got taken high in it. As he puts it long onto the boot, looking for a contest. Nyhouse was at the back. Flipped over, can't get it. And Nyhouse has earned the free kick from the tackle.
He's worked hard for it today. You can't argue that on Nyhouse. He has been working very hard today as a defender.
No, I think Ethan Maney actually took a step or two before he got done. And I think it was Ethan, I'm not sure. It's difficult to tell that far away, but Nyhouse comes in and will be their 5th goal scorer for the day. Or score their 5th goal for the day.
That extends or shortens the lead, you could say, there for Nightcliff. Southern District 7-13-55 to Nightcliff's 5-6-36.
So the margin just closing up, but difficulty. We're into time on now, even though it's the 19-minute mark. Quarters shortened by 2 minutes, so the time on starts at the 18-minute mark due to the heat policy, which is a good call, I've got to say to you, Tara, because it's been an absolute stinker the last couple of weeks.
Has been, and for those just joining us, we've had every weather condition possible out here at Norbuilt this afternoon. Lightning, rain and heat. Typical Darwin footy.
Dennis Robinson, one out by Robinson. They run away through Bailey Edwards. Edwards, again, looking for Nyhouse. And He can't get it. And the ball will be thrown in.
That kind of centre work from Nightcliff is what you'd expect to see, and we actually haven't seen it a lot this game.
No.
The clear, contest out of the centre and ripping it straight into their forward, haven't seen a lot of it this game from them.
No, but when you're up against a ruckman like Dennis,
Yeah.
Matty Dennis, who will win, sort of 2/3 to 3/4 of all ruck hitouts. He had 35 hitouts last week.
Correct.
Sort of dominates. In a losing game,
Yes.
he's had 35 hitouts. So you kind of expect that. There's a free kick being found. No, it's been thrown in.
Thanks
by
to
Noonan
Little.
on the spot. Umpire Beard Jonty Beard just setting things up. Dennis has gone down to go against Aidan Robinson. Dennis will take front position and win it out. Nightcliff just try and bring it forward.
Oh.
Sliding there was Mummery. Couldn't get it on the fingertips. Diving on it, and was Jones, who just said, "You're not going anywhere, thanks, mate." Hammond is the last off the ground as they identify who's going to take this. One out again by Dennis, just dominating. Bowden wraps up his opponent. Roy George is in there, handball over the top to himself. Phoenix Joe Poole in a contest. Coming in was Bousted, taken high, and that's the full-time siren here at Norbuilt Oval.
All right, and there it is. Final siren there for a game full of action here. And if you're a Crocs fan, another win for the books for them for round 6. Southern District 7-13-55 to Nightcliff's 5-6-36. And a well-deserved win there for the Crocs, who really held the pace and flexed their muscles for the entire game, you'd say. Surprisingly keeping Nightcliff at bay. Nightcliff did have a bit of a last-minute surge, but as Jojo once said, too little, too late.
Yeah, it was a little bit. The Districts just had too many winners across the ground, and specifically the midfield. None better than Matty Dennis, but gee, they had some great contributors across half-back. Brandon Rusker was good. Michael Bowden was good, but so too was Jake McQueen. So too was Boyd Woodcock, and up forward, Dunstan, Roy George. They just provided great options. Nightcliff, just not enough contributors. Those that did contribute, Brody Follow was well and truly below par today. From his standards, doesn't mean he didn't have a good game, just means it's just a bit below. Ryan Nyhouse did as much as he could. But otherwise, they started to drop away, and those people just didn't. The other Nightcliff teammates just came in bits and fats when they needed quarter contributors.
Yeah, and I think probably the only one to add is probably a Phoenix Joe Poole, especially from a younger and obviously just his first season as a part of the squad for Nightcliff. Did well under pressure today, did what he could to work with the team, and also from a Mummery as well, or other special mentions from a Nightcliff. And obviously they're my sort of big pick. Brody Lake had a ripper.
Brody Lake was sensational. I should have mentioned him. He was fantastic across half-back, and I think it's going to be very difficult for Southern Districts to be picking their 3-2-1 tonight.
100% agree with you. Look, it's been a pleasure to host you. My name is Tara Harris, joining the commentary box, not the corporate box. It's far from a corporate box here at Norbuilt Oval for round 6 action. Next up, your pick of choice. We have Tiwi versus Waratah at Gardens Oval, and at 7 o'clock, we have Pint taking on Wanderers. It's been a pleasure to host you. See you next week.